Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Resident Evil 4 with the fan-made HD texture mod. Let's see where we are. Still really haven't gotten the pause and back buttons being backwards down. Yeah, we're going through this door and then we're going through this area and it seems like this would be all of the island, but it really isn't. If anything, it's just, this is kind of just a point where we get back to Ashley. Um, Here's a kind of great example of textures that the fans may have done themselves, um, or redone themselves. Like that texture, that picture in general may have actually existed, but it may now exist at a different level. And we're going this way. It is kind of weird that you can be here right next to the salesman and also be capable of just potentially shooting a guy. Maybe I can't actually shoot the guy. Theoretically, if you get under the chin, you can also get headshots even though they have helmets. That's enough people to use the mine launcher on, so we'll go with that. The island does a little bit different in this game in that it introduces a lot more cutscenes. There's a lot more narrative. If you recently played the island part and hadn't played the village or the castle part, you would think that this game was just overloaded with dialogue, which I won't call good dialogue, but you'd think there would be dialogue there, and cutscenes, and that there would just be a lot more of a narrative story going on. When it really isn't the case. Of course, for that trade-off, the island has the most kind of generic hallways. There's definitely not a lot to be seen here in the entire like layout of the building. I've never really used the mine thrower here, so there might be a point here where using the mine thrower might be absolutely the best idea ever. You see just like a bathroom over here on the side and creepy sound effects. And that definitely doesn't feel at that point. Like, that doesn't feel like this is a military person as much as that feels like that's a prisoner. Cans of jars and non-perishables reminds me of the days of ORE. And a single shotgun shell in this silver container, I guess, is probably there to let you notice that there's that there. Although there would be just kind of some assumption that there would be something bigger. You see a sequence very much like this. I mean, almost copy and pasted like this in the first couple of minutes of Resident Evil 5, where you have these big meaty chunks of flesh, and there's even little flies here. Wow. And yeah, I guess that's a point where the HD remake can't cut the meat. It would be interesting if the yep, and there was a guy in the oven. It would be interesting if that had been something you could do. It's unlikely that you would have been able to escape that guy, even if I had remembered he was there. And then you've got some like ovens and stuff, and we've seen some of this used very sparsely in other parts of the game, when it feels like there probably should be somebody with a giant butcher knife like that in the game, and there isn't. What was he doing in here? So we've got some falling action here as we're working around. And then this almost implies that this would be liquid nitrogen again, and that we would be fighting a similar insectoid person, and it really is only a slight spoiler to say that's just not what happens. The truth of the matter is, you never run into another insect-like character in the entire game. There's 2 treasures somewhat nearby, and yet you're getting into a lot of loading here, probably to script things. The levels, again, very shiny 3D models, although mostly flat for coats. Even for coats, mostly too flat. Yeah, you compare this like small collection of rooms, each with its own potential loading section, to the long hallways in the castle, and it's just like a completely different person. Yeah, it's like a completely different team, a completely different person made the game. Where is that guy hitting me from? So I've been trying to learn this mine thrower, obviously, but it's not really happening. I guess with each of these small areas you have more checkpoints, but this really does just highlight one broken butterfly shot is good enough. I will use the mine thrower to try and target this other guy. And then we'll switch back to the broken butterfly and take aim and fire. What in the world were they eating? No, 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 no. Yeah. It seems fairly obvious that the mine thrower as a concept does not work. Like, you just can't turn those lemons into lemonade. And that kind of sucks, but I also kind of suspected that that was exactly why I've never really felt that there's a major need for the mine thrower. That being said, we are doing well enough. There's wine back here. This really is fairly reminiscent of what you run into in Resident Evil 6 too, where you just have really, really overly decorated rooms and there's just kind of nothing in it. Here we can hear Ashley really doesn't have enough lines of dialogue and she shouldn't just be yelling. She doesn't even know if Leon is anywhere near you, as far as I could tell. Can't shoot that light. And this is fairly reminiscent of when we first met her, where you're gonna walk around the corner. Again, I think the cutscenes are zoomed out differently because we're getting another slight upskirt shot there. I don't know why they're roughing her up if they've already done the ritual and she's already going to be part of the Las Plagas corps. It feels...
Just hang in there, Ashley. I'm coming for you.
Feels kind of ridiculous. And that is kind of a unique motivating factor change there, because now our goal is to go back, and it seems like we're just like in a completely different place now. This kind of feels like the same map, but I don't think it really is. Or if anything, maybe they moved the map around. So, like, you would almost think that going back this way might bring back the other map. Yeah. There's a whole map here that looks like this. And to reach that is our somewhat eventual goal. But then you walk through this door and you don't quite have a different map. But you walk over here, you still don't quite have quite a different map. So in general, I guess the game is just weird. Yeah. I guess it is a case that if you're going to do the mine thrower, and this is crazy to potentially have to think about pressing X on every one of these cabinets, file drawers, but I don't think you're actually going to run into too many of them anyways. It does just seem very, very overly decorated. It's just a little too much without actually any enemies in the place. And you go through the next room and you get another treasure, but it's very possibly a piece of this treasure, which Redstone of Faith gets put into the links. It's not really smart to use this to increase our health, and I think we're mostly just looking for pesetas, and I think
things on sale. What are you
there's
selling?
a decent chance that we don't really have enough to do anything. The only thing is if we had found like a bunch of spinels, could probably sell.
Is that all?
And then send an a grenade. Much like the mine
What are you
thrower, that's going to
buying?
be something that's useful. We now have the tactical vest, which I did vaguely recall that existed. I didn't recall that you actually had to pay for it though. So reducing damage by 30% on a new game plus makes everything way better.
What are you buying?
Certainly. That being said, yeah, I just don't think I have any money for anything at all. So here it comes down to cross your fingers and hope to succeed. You can't save in here, so I'll have to figure out the best save spot to save in spot 20.
Welcome.
Basically, we now have part D. Whole bunch of Ashley characters to hit, which creates yeah. See, that went through and that shot Ashley, so that lost all of our points basically with that one Ashley shot. Although I don't think the explosion points ever really play a role. So you get 2 prizes for every 2,000, which means you have to do it at least a couple times. Yeah. And inherently, I guess I'm just trying to warm up. And there's just a real question about how much dead zoning is really happening here versus like I could crank up the dead zone probably incredibly high, and maybe that would get a little bit better targeting, but honestly with these guys moving around, very little is going to change. Either you're going to be able to pull off the trick or you're not. Come on. And see, that was just terrible. Let's just make sure. Yep. Let's go over here and see if that refills our weapons. Yeah. You need to be quick, you need to be accurate, you need to be lucky. Pull out when there's nowhere good to shoot and pull back in when there is somewhere good to shoot. And probably go for body shots if you can't guarantee headshots. Probably better get a body shot than miss a headshot. That's 3,700. You need to be over 4,000, and we've just not been able to do that with any of them. So at this point, we should have what is a harder version of this, which I question. Of course, you really have to get used to targeting the right people. Otherwise, you are going to miss completely. And see, I don't get that at all. How in the world did I miss so many people? That didn't seem like that's what was really going on. Alright, so you try A. A just won't work. Notice your bullets. And see, if I had my upgraded 5 times critical headshot, yeah, A is just not going to work because of the background. B has a chance of working. But, you know, I think the thing to do here is we really just gotta press F1 and change the dead zone. Controller, dead zone 0.4, bring it up to 2.0. That seems kind of ridiculously high. Let's see what that feels like and if that really changes anything at all. It's perhaps a little slow, and perhaps the game is now being a little laggy. Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if the game is not designed to change the dead zone on the fly, since that is a tweak built in. Good news is, if we get this done, and we get one that works over 4,000, alright, rare prize awarded. So, do I think the dead zone really works in the actual game? I would disagree. Second row collection complete, 25,000 peseta. Fourth row collection complete, 50,000 pesetas. Alright. So, that's 2 of the 4 rows now complete. It is now just a matter of, this guy's all tilted back, JJ. So we just need to get a little bit closer. The Bella sisters. I guess that was a named couple of chainsaw characters. Although you would really never know. Alright. So it seems like B will work fine as our first target area. Let's start over. So they start in the middle. It's all about getting to that next shot. And getting as much of the bonuses and no misses. The extra 2 guys with TNT are going to really help you. I'm fairly certain if you have a thing going on, I get you over 4,000, which didn't give me any awards. So what were the rules? 4,000. And then do I have to beat 4,200 now? Am I setting myself up for failure? Or let's see. Files. Target practice. Receive prizes by scoring above 1,000 points. Bonus points awarded for headshots. A high-scoring Salazar target appears with successive hits. It doesn't tell you how many. Shooting Ashley will deduct points. Doesn't tell you how much. One battle cap will be awarded. For every 1,000 points scored, special body caps are awarded either by shooting all the warden targets except Ashley or scoring 3,500 points. Scoring above 3,500 points. There are 24 battle caps. Each time you enter shooting range, 16 battle caps are available. Alright. So I shot all of the characters, and that got me one bottle cap, and then I shot over 3,500 points. Seems like that would be and, not or. Did that say and, or did that say or? Or scoring above 3,500 points. I feel like I've scored above 3,500 points multiple times. I guess my only hope here is to do C, and maybe there's a slight difference with C that the game will play into. Oh man. See, that's another point where the game just decided to automatically reload. And yeah, I'm not pressing any button that's causing that reloading. So there's some wonkiness, false inputs or something that happens if your dead zone's too high, apparently. Interesting that didn't shoot through anybody. Yeah. Like the whole input just messed up there. Well, I'm definitely not succeeding in this one. Could I hit all the wooden targets? Possibly. If the game was going to be so generous there. I guess maybe it is just a case though. Ooh, so what do we do to fix this? As far as the wonkiness. Give it another go. I guess the game is possibly easier than it seems, in the sense that you can simply ignore the aspect of getting the high score and instead try to just hit all the targets. Although they do move around a lot for trying to hit them all. Anything that has a high explosion is going to potentially, I guess, make the game easier to hit all the characters. Let's try something here. If we really just need to hit everybody, let's just hit everybody. Like, that may not give you any... Like that, it may not give you any, like, success, but... yeah, this dead zone, though, is not gonna work. I would have gotten that. Alright, well, first things first. Let's adjust the dead zone, because that's insane at 2.0. So, real question as to why you could even bring it up higher. Let's just turn it off and have a dead zone of 1 and just play the game the way the game would have it. But noticeably, they're recommending turning the dead zone even lower. Now we go big. So you hit all 25 characters, and that didn't give you anything. So the instructions here are just wrong. Either shooting all 1 targets except Ashley, or scoring 3,500 points. So I guess you can't hit Ashley, which arguably that's not that hard to do either. Just play a little bit better. Let's try C. I imagine C is going to be even more difficult. So, although it may not be that difficult. Come on, come on, come on, come on. So there's one rare prize for getting all 25 and not hitting Ashley, which probably means I could just do it again. Like, nothing really changes. Alright, we hit Ashley there. We'll start again. It's like game type C. If anything, this really highlights, I think, also how game type A is the worst of the game types. Alright, nope. So it really is just that one spot where you can't hit Ashley. Right. Barely got that last one. Did I hit Ashley there, or did I miss a Salazar? It may just be that we have to do this. I think you may just need to be on the other side here, and maybe there's more of a question of just this gun, like particularly. Like, if I can just try to have some extended burst around. Yeah, I think you just got to get a little bit closer. This highlights how it really is now is the best time to Now really is the best time to take on all of this. See, again, that would have worked had I not hit Ashley. Although, I probably should just... I probably should just opt. Just wait here. There we go. Probably should opt to change the dead zone back, like, because that doesn't feel right. Yeah, 1.0 is too much still. 6.60. We probably should also just do this one more time just to get a general feel to make sure that dead zone is right. Unfortunately, you don't. Maybe a little too sensitive. Yeah, you can definitely see there's just this case of it auto-locking. Like, I'm still not really satisfied with that. Of course, trying to use a mouse to even get the number low is very difficult. And I'm not getting exactly on the numbers there. There's a lot of number picker widgets that don't exist in Windows or games in general. Honestly, I don't know if the dead zone even needs to be this high. I guess I maybe don't want the game to be too sensitive. There, I got all 25. Yeah, I'll leave it at the tweaks percentage, but honestly, I might be able to turn the dead zone close to 0 off. We've been awarded 2 bottle caps. First row collected, got an achievement, and 15,000 pesadas. Third row collected, and 35% pesadas. So, while that was some extra time, we do now have a complete bottle cap collection, which weirdly, you don't kind of get that. I think you keep it at New Game Plus. I don't think it resets where you start another bottle cap collection. You would think maybe in a remake of this game there might be gold versions of these models. I think you probably want to get away from bottle caps too and just call these figures collectible figurines. The bottle cap aspect of it seems really weird, like they were trying to do some tie-in. And here we have Ada Wong. Leon, now! That says a line of dialogue we don't even hear, haven't heard yet. Very shiny dress in the new HD remod. Although I'm not sure that any of this 3D modeling has been changed that much. Maybe just shininess. And she's in this long, you'd almost call it Chinese dress, but it's not like split on both sides. If anything, it's a dress that maybe she just tore so she could get to her gun. And then, much less interestingly, we have Don Pedro, which I guess maybe that's supposed to be a named character, but I doubt it. Well, regardless, that solves that issue as far as being
things on sale,
short on gold.
Is that
So
all
buy that tactical vest.
Thank you.
Although arguably getting the tactical vest is not really as helpful as you might think,
What are you
because
buying?
all of these enemies are going to be doing so much damage to you anyways.
Not enough cash, stranger.
See, homing to the darks and significantly increase the blast radius, which is probably a mistake. We're still a little short on the rifle. We could increase our broken butterfly reload speed and firepower.
Is that all, stranger?
Which I guess that's what you do. So even by doing that, that only got us 2 upgrades. The broken butterfly now does 24 instead of like 20 damage and reloads a little bit faster. When we run out of broken butterfly bullets, we'll be able to upgrade for 25,000. We still are looking for 80,000. And another 100,000, which, and then maybe even another 30,000. And I guess it is worth pointing out here that we don't leave this island. So some of the things I remember in Resident Evil 5 that I kind of am vaguely thinking might have been in Resident Evil 4 are smacking me in the face, because I thought there'd be a point where we were underground fighting a big monster. That's definitely in Resident Evil 5. I was thinking we might also run into some other enemies. Yep. In a funny way, even though it wasn't originally the case, Resident Evil 4 and 5, if you played them back to back, that is kind of the way I think I would recommend playing the game. I think you can go ahead and reload this too, just to save room. We definitely don't really have enough room if we were going to try and focus solely on getting another rocket launcher. Yep. I think it's fair to say that Resident Evil 5 doesn't really hold much of a candle to it really doesn't hold much of a candle to Resident Evil 4, but compared to going through Resident Evil 6, it's much better. And you're probably still going to want that level of storyline. Although, I guess that is something that in the remake they could stop focusing on. This is dumb. This is another place where mine thrower would be better. I just hope I didn't hit the wall. is coming. Guy who I blew the head off of and still needed to shoot. And that was the guy just opening the gate and closing it. There definitely could have been more things in here. I guess it's Resident Evil 5 also where you get on the boat. Yeah. It's all kind of a blur, and I guess because I am talking more about nostalgia than reality here. The move here is to probably experience brass pocket watch, both 4 and 5 in a row, and maybe skip 6 altogether. Now, is there any reason whatsoever that you would want to go back and why you would have a connecting thing here? I guess maybe if you just didn't have the treasure map and you wanted to run back and take on the treasure map. This is kind of where you started the whole game, I think. So I guess it's because of that. But at a certain point, if you were going to do that, then you almost should have a way to jump out the window to reach that point and have make a shortcut. This game does nothing around that idea as far as making shortcuts. And at this point, I guess I am just waiting to take more damage so that I can use up my health upgrade. And I really don't need 3 incendiary grenades, but selling them's not really worth that much. I really don't need the brown chicken egg, but I don't think selling that is worth more than maybe a couple thousand at most. Yeah, and we didn't really progress the story much because we spent that extra time doing the shooting gallery. And weirdly, there is no there's no like way to just jump into the shooting gallery and play with that outside of the story of the game, since that is connected to each playthrough as far as getting the gold and the upgrades. Which, yeah, arguably maybe that is why you might get new bottle caps, is because then you could collect the 125,000 pesetas a second time in your second playthrough. Yeah, I guess it is very much a situation where you would much prefer to play Resident Evil 4 2 or 3 times in a row before you played Resident Evil 5, but you still probably should play Resident Evil 5. I honestly don't think it's as bad as a lot of other people I think have said it is. Definitely in comparison to Resident Evil 6, it's almost a masterpiece. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, all of that. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.